Welcome to Spotlight. I'm your host, Paige Ronchetti, in for Jane Wernette. Today I'm joined by 3 local nonprofits, the Naperville Men's Glee Club, the Inside Out Club, and the Edward Foundation.
This Spotlight is brought to you by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank.
You're watching Spotlight, and joining me now from the Naperville Men's Glee Club are John Rakes and Mike Ziegler. Thank you so much for being here today. It's great to meet both of you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thanks for having us.
So, let's talk about what makes the Glee Club such a treasure in the community. John?
Yeah, so the Glee Club is a pretty unique group. We've been around for 36 years since our founding in 1988. And it's really a great place for men to come sing in the Naperville and the wider community. We have people coming from outside of Naperville to come sing with us. But beyond a group of tenors and basses singing together in a choir and rehearsing weekly, giving concerts, we also find ways to collaborate with other nonprofits to support them, get their messages out to our audience. We find ways to collaborate with youth artists, other musical organizations, and build a great camaraderie together serving our community musically.
Yeah, it's so great that music can bring people together like that.
Yeah, there's something unique and very special about a group of tenors and basses coming together, singing in a unique way, and having a unique bond and camaraderie like the Glee Club does.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. Now, Mike.
Yes.
Why are you a member of the Glee Club? What does it mean to you?
It's a lot to do with what John was just saying. I started singing in groups back in junior high, just kind of on a whim. And I think since then, I've been in high school choirs, madrigals. I was in the University of Illinois Men's Glee Club in college. And then when I graduated, there was kind of nothing like that. So I was in church choirs and things, but it just isn't quite the same. Different type of music, different camaraderie, and I just missed it a lot. And one time we had some new neighbors that moved in next door to us. We were out to dinner with them, and it turned out that he was in the Naperville Men's Glee Club.
Wow.
That was Rich Ryan. And he invited me to a rehearsal, and I came, and I loved it, so I've been here ever since.
Wow, small world.
Yes. So I really love the types of music we do. It's just a huge variety of music. I think I looked in the list, we have Caccini, which is like from 1600-ish. And we have Dan Forrest music that's maybe within the last 10 or 15 years. So it's just a wide variety, and I just really love the sound of the tenor bass choir.
Yeah, something for everyone.
It really is.
Yeah. So can you tell me about some of your recent highlights as a group?
Yeah, this past season in April, our spring concert was a concert to give a benefit and a partnership to a local nonprofit. We partnered with the SHARE organization, which has a local chapter at Edward Hospital. And SHARE is an organization that supports bereaving parents who are facing miscarriage or infant loss. And so it was a chance to not only raise some funds for the bereavement room that they're building at Edward Hospital, but also there was a unique choir of the SHARE community that came together to rehearse prior to the concert and then sing the end of the concert. So we had 65 to 75 people all singing in honor of their babies. And it was a very touching tribute to them.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's very moving.
After that, we did our first annual Men's Sing Choral Festival. In May, we brought together the Glee Club. We brought together a men's choir from Elmhurst, the Men of Spirito, as well as some other men that were just invited guests from the area. And so we combined to do a festival day-long choir. We rehearsed under the direction of Dr. Jerry Blackstone, who's a world-renowned choral conductor, specifying in men's voices. And so that gave us an opportunity to bring a unique group of guys together to sing for a day and then give a concert in the afternoon.
Wow, so all in one day, rehearsal and performance.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then our summer concert season just wrapped up. In August, we gave our annual bandshell concert at the Municipal Bandshell, and that's always a free event to the Naperville community. And we get to bring in guest artists, usually prize winners of the Harmony Sweepstakes. So this year we featured the Stiletto Quartet. It was a lot of fun to feature them on the concert.
Oh my goodness, that's a great name for a quartet too.
Yeah, they brought their stilettos, and it was great to see a female group beside the male group as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say somebody wants to join the Glee Club. How would they go about doing that?
Well, there are several ways. I mean, one way is to have dinner with your neighbor and just come along to a rehearsal like I did. But really, any of our rehearsals, somebody can show up. We rehearse every Tuesday evening at 7:30, and it's at the Church of the Brethren on Jefferson in Naperville, so it's right in the middle of town. We're also having some open kind of rehearsals focusing on those in January. So all the month of January, we'll be having open rehearsals. And they can always go to our website. It's Naperville Men's Glee Club, napervillemensgleeclub.org, or nmgc.org. That's still a link. And there is a button on there to join us. They can fill that out. Somebody will contact them and give them more information.
So I imagine you have a holiday show this year. Tell me about that.
Yeah, our next concert is our annual Christmas Presents concert. It will be Sunday, December 8th, 3 o'clock at Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in Naperville.
Okay, and do we need to buy tickets ahead of time, or are they at the door?
You can buy tickets at the door, but you can also order tickets online at nmgc.org, or you can find a Glee Clubber. They always have tickets on them, and you can purchase them in person.
Oh, that is so smart. Always have the tickets with you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you both so much for being here today, and happy holidays.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
If you'd like to learn more about the Naperville Men's Glee Club, please visit their website. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned for more Spotlight.
This Spotlight is brought to you by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the colleges paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned.
What's the matter, boy? What are you trying to tell me? Is something wrong?
We live in a safe community, but not a crime-free community. If you see something, say something.
Naperville Animal Crime Stoppers.
Yes, I'd like to report a case of animal cruelty and neglect.
Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves.
This Spotlight is brought to you by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank.
If you're just tuning in, you're watching Spotlight. I'm your host, Paige Ronchetti, and joining me now from the Inside Out Club is Marion Ruthig. Marion, thanks for being here today.
Thanks so much for having me. I just love coming on this show.
Oh, wonderful. So tell me a little bit about the Inside Out Club, including your mission, what's your vision? Tell me everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Inside Out Club's mission is to empower youth to live each day with good character. So really trying to help our kids build up skill sets around things that I know are so important in today's world. You know, kindness, empathy, gratitude, perseverance, self-awareness, just kind of those core value sets that really help set you on a great path just for life in general, right? Like positive for mental health, great for those life skills, those soft skills. So that's really kind of our mission. And then the vision is that all of the youth we serve will go out and make the world a better place, right? So that's the goal. If you can empower people with goodness on the inside, they will take it out into the community and make a positive impact.
Okay, that does sound a lot like the Inside Out movies, which I know not related to what you're doing.
Similar in line, but not related, yeah.
So tell me about the services you offer and for what age groups.
Absolutely. So we offer things starting as young as age 3, which really kind of makes us unique. So we have one-time events for families with children starting as young as age 3. We also host those one-time events for Girl Scout troops or youth groups or sports teams. So anyone who has kind of a group of youth anywhere between the ages of 3 and really high school can reach out to us, and we help basically provide an opportunity for them to grow in character through giving back to the community. So one of my favorite examples is we have an event called Snuggle Bunnies for seniors, and the children actually make these adorable little fluffy snuggle bunnies, and then they name them and they write it on a card. So when the senior through Meals on Wheels, they learn about Meals on Wheels, will receive, and it'll say, meet Bob or meet Muff Muff, or so again, just a really great engaging activity that helps them build character. So those are our one-time events. Our largest program is our K through 5 after school program. So that's being offered at schools like BB and just lots of them in Naperville and kind of surrounding communities. We have 11 schools running the program actually this fall, reaching about 280 students.
Wow.
And so that's a 5-week series where each week for an hour, they're doing something similar to what I just described with the Snuggle Bunnies. So it's different curriculum, but similar vein.
Yeah.
And then we have a middle school program called Business Designers for Good, which is really empowering kids with those soft skills around leadership, social responsibility, emotional intelligence, and entrepreneurship. And it culminates with them presenting their business ideas for good in the world, because as I'm sure you know here, every business can do good in the world just like every person can, no matter what type of business you are or no matter what type of person you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
So those are kind of our core program offerings. And then we also do a lot of other things just in collaboration with the community. We provide activities, Inside Out Club activities in partnership with the Naperville Park District in the summer camps and the YMCA. So we're constantly busy.
Yes, very busy.
Lots
it sounds
to do.
like.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, can you share with me an impact story from your group?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually just recently, last week, we got an email from a teacher actually at BB Elementary School, and she said they were about to form groups in the classroom, and they were talking about, just acceptance, when you're trying to form a group, about how important it is to include others. And there was a little boy in the classroom who raised his hand and went on to share all about his activity with the Inside Out Club and how they learned about kindness, and we were making kindness kits for the homeless, and how kindness is important when you're choosing groups, and kind of tied it into what the class was doing. So that was a great example of just how kids can take all that learning and it just plants these little seeds, and then you don't know where it's going to grow or come out. So that's a really great example.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
So tell me what's new and exciting for you in 2025.
Yeah, so the most exciting thing coming up in 2025 is that we're actually working on piloting a high school program. So a few years ago, our board was like, we'd love to have a continuum of services and programming from pre-K all the way through. So we're going to be launching a program called SkillsBox 10, and it's really around helping high schoolers unlock 10 core life skills. But what makes it really fun and unique is they'll learn those by actually putting on their own event. So they'll build those, budgeting skills, communication etiquette skills. When do you pick up the phone? When do you call? When do you text?
Yeah.
What do you do if you're invited to, a dinner? What does that look like? How do you network and build relationships? And really just, again, geared at giving them the skills that they're going to need, regardless of what they do when they leave high school, right? It doesn't matter the career path in today's day and age with the AI, with kind of, just different social challenges that our youth are facing. These are kind of the core skill sets that they really need for healthy and successful futures. So we're really excited to get that kind of off the ground and running in 2025.
That's great, because at least when I was in high school a while ago, they didn't teach us anything like that. Yeah. So it's fantastic that you guys are bringing that to the students.
Thank you. I think it'll be really exciting, and just, again, a fun way to learn some things that are going to be really valuable as they move on in life.
Yeah, absolutely. So if somebody wants to get involved or support the organization, how can they do that?
Everything is listed on our website, so I would definitely go there, but we really rely on volunteers. Last year we had 174 volunteers. We have a very small staff. And last year was 7,200 hours of Inside Out Club that happened throughout the course of the year. So we do a lot, and so that support is critical, right? Volunteers, donations, corporate partners, all of those things. And we're always looking for, teachers, social work, anyone who wants to bring Inside Out Club to their school. We'd love to talk to them as well. So, but all of the information's on our website, and we just encourage people, if they're interested, just reach out. We can help you figure out what is a good fit.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Marion, and telling us about Inside Out Club.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
To find out more about the Inside Out Club, please go visit their website. We're taking a quick break, but stay tuned. We're coming right back.
This spotlight is brought to you by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank.
This is the When Art Flourishes, Everyone Flourishes commitment. This is the Let's Revitalize Our Neighborhoods commitment. This is the Roll Up Our Sleeves and Pitch In commitment. This is Busey, where our commitment to strengthen our communities is a top priority. Through energetic, engaged volunteers, through monetary support and advocacy. Because Busey is more than a bank that does well, we're a bank that does good.
This spotlight is brought to you by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank.
Welcome back to Spotlight. And joining me now from the Edward Foundation is Brett Skeen. Hey, Brett, nice to see you.
Likewise, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here today. So we've all seen the signs changing over. Edward Elmhurst Health is now Endeavor Health. So has the recent hospital merger impacted Edward Foundation?
It has and it hasn't, a little bit of both. So we're excited about the prospect of joining into a 9-hospital system and all of the healthcare benefits and, frankly, financial benefits that it will bring to our patients. Being larger, we can be a little bit more nimble. We have access to specialty care that we didn't used to have prior to the merger. There are economies of scale when you get into a business this size, and as an organization, we are approaching the $6 billion a year mark.
Wow.
So it is a sizable organization doing a lot of great work, but it does help us negotiate better pricing, better rates, and ultimately that impacts charges for our customers. So
yeah.
All in all, that side of it's been great. The foundation side, we're still independent. So we have 5 independent foundations that operate across these hospitals. At Edward, we represent Edward Hospital here in Naperville, as well as Linden Oaks Behavioral Health on the Edward campus, and a number of ancillary sites that provide outpatient care throughout our system too. So
yeah.
We are still focused on the local and community needs of our service area, but we are also now involved in some projects that have the capacity to impact patients across the system. There was a recent $10 million gift that was announced by one of the other foundations that's going to assist with genomic testing and personalized therapies for patients, which is really exciting work. And
yeah.
There are some opportunities to do things on that grander scale now being part of the system.
That's exciting.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
So how has the role of the foundation changed during your tenure there?
Yeah, so I came on just prior to COVID, and obviously that changed things for a number of people. So just getting into the role and kind of getting my feet wet, getting to know our donor base and interact with leadership in the community. It was different to have to do it online. You gotta find our way through. Obviously, the focus of the healthcare side was very different. It was a unique experience to go through, I should say. A lot of great opportunities to meet and work with people under a high stress environment, but built a lot of really good, strong friendships through that process. And that was a unique introduction into Edward Hospital.
I can only imagine.
But at that time, we were still raising funds for a number of important needs. Some of them took a while to implement, but it's been a fantastic period to kind of come through that and then begin to focus more on strategic direction, both pre and post merger, and different patient needs that traditionally have been priorities for Edward Foundation.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of those needs.
Yeah.
What does the foundation help with?
Yeah, I tell people who ask, what is a foundation? What do you do? We exist really to raise and spend money. That's our job. And it's all trying to close the gap that exists because healthcare is so expensive.
Yeah.
We can never have the right facilities, the right equipment, the right services for patients to provide optimal care, but we try to get as close to it as we can. And the entire time we're in this fight to keep pricing low. Healthcare is way too expensive. And it's just, so there's this constant battle to try to fill the gap. And philanthropy has been a really wonderful means to do more with less. As reimbursements decline, as drugs and medical devices get more and more expensive, we're relying more and more on philanthropy to help to provide really great clinical care and extend the reputation that Edward has built in really excellent care.
Yeah.
So, recently we funded a CT scanner that is located close to our emergency department. Stroke is a growing concern, and we've done wonderful work to advance stroke care at Edward. This was a key component. There was a need to provide quick CT scan testing for patients that present as potential stroke victims. All of it is about getting the test quickly so that we can diagnose patients and make sure that they're getting the right response as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
When it comes to stroke, seconds can mean brain cell death, which can hamper your quality of life or even keep you alive long term. So
Yeah.
Being able to provide quicker therapy and targeted therapy is important. So that was a great thing that was completed recently. We are in the process right now of getting occupancy for a new Serenity room. We operate, and the foundation helps pay for the operations of a share bereavement counseling program for parents that have experienced perinatal loss.
Yeah.
And it's a tough situation when you are going through that in the surrounding environment of a labor and delivery unit where there's a lot of Brahms lullaby playing overhead and babies crying and happy parents, and you're going through a very traumatic event.
Right.
So we have a special room now that's designated for that situation where you get a brief amount of time with your child before you hand them over, and that's the end of the experience.
Yeah.
So we've got a very comfortable, private, serene spot for patients as well as family members if they want to invite them to have experienced that moment in time that you have.
Yeah.
Which in one of the few areas here that provides that counseling service. So to have the facility now to go hand in hand with that was a very important thing for a big community of donors that has supported this project for a long time. So we're excited for that to nearly be opening.
Yeah.
We also just started to treat patients in our medical oncology lab with a new linear accelerator. So it's a huge, impressive piece of equipment that provides targeted radiation therapy for patients that need it. There are always advantages to new equipment, and this is one of those cases where the upgrade was due. We were excited. It's overall more than a $3 million project. So this is one of these examples of an expensive piece of equipment that every 10 to 15 years you're replacing. But it's more targeted than it used to be in the past, so you have more pinpoint precision of targeting. These things are so advanced. The operator is a physicist. It's enthralling to me to talk to them
Oh my goodness.
how this thing works, and it just the software behind it. That if you have a tumor that moves because the patient's breathing, it will actually target in accordance with the patient's movement. So
That's something I've never thought about until right now.
right, and these are very sensitive areas in some points where if you're doing work on the head or the neck, you don't want any damage to surrounding tissues that can have major complications. So the more precise the equipment gets, the less side effects there are for our patients, the more targeted the therapy can be. So very excited to have helped to fund that replacement. It's something we started on a number of years ago, and the project's just now come to fruition.
Oh man, that's great.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff.
Yeah. So as we wrap up, what is up next for 2025?
Super excited to kind of be sharing with the public that Edward Hospital has had now for some time a very good reputation in cardiovascular services, both surgical and interventional cardiology. We will be one of very few designated sites for Cardiovascular Institute, and it will be on the Edward campus. Big building being built on the corner of campus that's going to house interventional therapies and outpatient needs for cardio. We're also doing a lot of work inside the 4th floor of the Heart Hospital. So as we move services over to the new building on the corner, we're freeing up really valuable real estate for things that have to be done inside the hospital. And we are looking at project plans now for an upcoming project that it's still in development, but will probably include somewhere in the realm of 4 new cardiovascular operating rooms and up to 10 new ICU rooms. Just super exciting for us because those needs are really growing.
Yes.
we're still talking about, a number one killer, unfortunately. Our population's aging, so we're going to see more and more of these procedures in terms of need. We have a population that's becoming increasingly diverse, and as these communities have higher incidences of cardiovascular needs, it's going to drive more and more volumes for us to have to be ready and prepared to handle. We're looking at potentially doubling the number of procedures that we do in the next 5 to 10 years. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's already a big need. We do great work now. We are kind of in demand in terms of volume. That is normally the number one indicator of quality. And we do high volumes at Edward. So we expect them to keep climbing. We got to be ready for it.
Yeah.
So that's something that we're gearing up for, and my foundation board is very excited to be getting behind.
Yeah. Well, it's great that the foundation is able to get that rolling even faster.
Yeah, we're excited about it. It's a big project, and I think a unique chance for people to really elevate a primary care need for our community.
Yeah. Well, Brett, thank you so much for being here today and sharing about the Edward Foundation.
My pleasure. Thanks again for having me.
For more information about the Edward Foundation, please visit their website. I'd like to thank all of my guests for joining us on Spotlight, and our friends at Busey Bank for their generous sponsorship of today's show. To learn more about the organizations featured on this episode, please visit our website at nctv17.org. And to stay informed about what's happening in our community, sign up to receive our daily news update and like and follow us on social media. For Spotlight, I'm Paige Ronchetti. Thank you for watching.
This Spotlight is brought to you by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank.